Top 10 foods you must eat to beat leg cramps in seniors. Even at night. Imagine you have just taken your evening seat by the window, the glow of a quiet lamp casting soft halos on the floor. The day went well, yet there is a familiar dread, that sudden twist in the calf that jolts you awake and leaves the muscles buzzing like a frayed electric wire. Tonight we open a friendly conversation about why those cramps appear and how a plate of simple, colorful food can hush them before they even think of knocking on your door. First, picture a garden hose lying in the sun. When the water inside flows freely, the hose stays supple. Block the stream or let the hose dry, and it kinks, curls, stiffens. Your muscle fibers behave in much the same way. They rely on tiny rivers of minerals and fluid to glide over one another. When those inner rivers shrink or clog, the fibers snap tight in protest. That sharp protest is what wakes you at night, begging for relief. The body is wonderfully talkative once you learn its language. A sudden spasm is its shorthand for I need balance. Balance of movement and stillness, of work and rest, but most of all balance of nutrients that guide every heartbeat, every gentle flex of your toes. Think of those nutrients as small locksmiths. Potassium eases the latch, magnesium oils the hinge, calcium keeps the hinge from rusting, and water washes away the dust. When a single locksmith is late for work, the door jams. Your calf feels that jam and grabs hold. Many friends tell me they stretch, they point their toes, they walk circles around the bedroom rug, yet the cramps return. Stretching is good, like airing out linens, but if the shelves in your kitchen stand empty, no amount of airing will calm a hungry stomach. Food is the first and kindest medicine. Luckily, the earth grows everything our muscles crave: bright fruits heavy with sweet juice, leafy greens that smell of morning rain, humble seeds that rattle in the jar until you scatter them over a salad. Each carries quiet power. During our time together we will invite those foods onto your plate, explore how they slip minerals back into your bloodstream, and weave them into habits so gently you can keep them even on the laziest Sunday. By the end, my hope is simple: you close your eyes, breathe slow, and your legs feel as light as resting feathers, free from the midnight pinch that once stole your sleep. Imagine a tightrope stretched above a quiet pond, morning light turning the water silver. Every step the rope walker takes depends on silent agreements between balance and gravity. Your muscles make the same agreements each time you reach for a teacup or climb a step. They shorten and lengthen in graceful duet. A cramp is the instant the duet forgets the music and each partner yanks the other toward the edge. The fear of that sudden bite fades when you know why it appears. Inside every muscle fiber live threads called filaments. They slide like children on a playground slide, down, up, down again, powered by sparks born in the food you eat and the air you breathe. Those sparks ride on currents of sodium rushing inward and potassium gliding outward, while calcium lifts the safety bar and magnesium sets it back. When the electrical rhythm is smooth, the slide feels endless. When fluid runs low, or minerals scatter, the playground locks, the children freeze, and pain rings out. Freedom from that lock feels like warm water over cold hands, immediate and soothing. Picture squeezing a sponge already dry. The fibers strain, begging for moisture. That is a thirsty muscle. Water alone cannot quench it, the water needs guides who know hidden paths. Potassium is such a guide, leading fluid into the deepest folds. Magnesium follows, easing tension like a lullaby. Calcium keeps watch so the release never drifts into weakness. Without these guides the sponge stays brittle and the next squeeze comes with a sting. Nerves add their own voice. They are garden messengers racing down ivy-covered walls, delivering orders from the brain. They speak in pulses. When pulses arrive too quickly, perhaps because worry has turned their stroll into a sprint, the muscle misreads urgency as emergency and clamps shut. That sudden lock is not punishment, it is a plea for slower instructions, a reminder to breathe, to stretch, to refill the inner well. Blood vessels may narrow with time like country roads, making it harder for supplies to reach distant villages in the calves. Hormones shift, altering how salt and water stay in balance. Medicines meant to protect the heart can accidentally borrow magnesium the way a gust snatches a hat. Recognizing these influences lets you troubleshoot gently, without blame. Seeing the stagecraft behind a cramp turns fear into informed compassion. You stop viewing your body as a rebel and start treating it as a diligent employee working night shift without enough tools. Our next visit will fill the toolbox with foods that return lost minerals, letting every fiber glide once more in quiet harmony. Think of a quiet river winding through a valley. When snow melts in the high mountains the current is lively, banks are lush, and every creature drinks in peace. As summer stretches on, the flow thins, stones appear, and fish circle anxiously in shallow pools. Your bloodstream is that river for every muscle and nerve. When its tide is strong, minerals ride the wave to the farthest toes, carrying the calm that keeps midnight spasms away. When the tide falls, even a generous plate of leafy greens cannot sail its gifts to the right address. Thirst often whispers instead of shouting. A dry mouth is the final flare, not the first. Earlier signs hide in plain sight: skin that loses spring, mood that sags, a sudden craving for salt, a feeling that thoughts move through syrup. Many people mistake these hints for everyday tiredness and reach for coffee or sweet pastries. Both are like borrowing river water with a promise to return it later, yet interest is steep. The cup perks you up in the moment but sends the kidneys sprinting, and the stream recedes again. Sipping water in slow, frequent waves is kinder than gulping a full jug at once. Imagine sprinkling a houseplant throughout the day rather than drenching it only when leaves droop. The roots absorb better, the soil stays soft, growth feels effortless. Your muscles respond in the same steady rhythm. Some find plain water dull, so dress it up as you would a favorite room. Float slices of garden cucumber, twist a ribbon of lemon peel, drop a shy mint leaf. Each addition coaxes another swallow, and little by little the river swells. Foods can also ferry moisture secretly. Crisp melon, juicy berries, tender zucchini, they carry water locked inside gentle fibers that release it while delivering mineral friends. Warm broths join the chorus on cooler evenings, wrapping the throat in comfort while they feed the river below. Even a humble bowl of oat porridge, stirred with patience, becomes a sponge that shares its moisture long after breakfast ends. True hydration is not a chore to tick off but a quiet habit woven into the day like background music. A sip when you stand from your chair, another as the kettle hums, one more while dusk settles. With the bloodstream full and bright, potassium, magnesium, and calcium glide unhurried to their nightly posts. Then, as you slip under the blanket, the calves stay loose, the river keeps its gentle song, and dreams flow uninterrupted till dawn. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a painted market square at first light. Stalls burst with color, baskets piled high with glowing apricots, striped melons, deep ruby beets still wearing wisps of earth. The air is sweet with overripe pears, and somewhere a radio hums a lazy tune. This is not just a pleasant scene, it is the pharmacy your muscles dream of when they curl in protest at night. Each bright piece of fruit, each humble root, holds a key mineral called potassium, the gentle counselor who whispers to nerves, telling them to stay calm and let the fibers glide. Think of potassium as a friendly traffic officer standing at a busy crossroads inside every cell. On one lane, sodium cars hurry in, on the other, potassium cars glide out, keeping the electrical flow smooth. When too few potassium cars show up, a jam forms, horns blare, and suddenly the calf grabs tight. Slip more of those friendly drivers into your meals and the intersection clears, signals blink green, movement feels effortless again. The beauty of these foods is their quiet versatility. A single velvety banana stirred into morning oatmeal, slices of golden baked sweet potato beside an evening stew, a cool salad where creamy avocado meets crisp cucumber, each moment offers another scoop of muscle peace. Even a handful of tender white beans folded into a soup can lift potassium stores without fuss. There is no need for grand recipes or exotic spices, simplicity serves best, letting the mineral speak louder than the menu. Roots and fruits carry more than just numbers on a nutrition chart. They bring stories of sun-warmed soil, of rain settling gently at dawn. When you bite into a juicy peach, you taste summer thunder and orchard laughter, and that joy alone relaxes tense tissue. Pleasure triggers calm hormones, widening vessels so minerals travel faster. In this way flavor itself becomes medicine, and the act of eating shifts from chore to small celebration. Begin by inviting one vivid plant into each meal, like placing fresh flowers on a table. Over days, add another, then another, until your plate resembles that morning market square. You will notice subtle shifts, ankles less swollen by evening, steps a shade lighter, the night quiet where cramps once prowled. Potassium has found its seat at your internal council, and with it comes the promise of smoother, kinder nights. Picture a gentle evening tide rolling onto a quiet shore, each wave smoothing footprints from the sand. That soft, steady rhythm is exactly what magnesium brings to the body. While potassium acts as the traffic officer at cellular crossroads, magnesium is the soothing lighthouse, casting a calm glow that guides calcium and potassium to safe harbor. When its beacon dims, nerve signals flicker like anxious moths, and muscles tighten without warning. Restore that glow, and the shore lies peaceful again, no sudden storms in the calves at midnight. The secret is that magnesium hides in places both luxurious and familiar. A square of dark, fragrant chocolate melts on the tongue and releases a hush that flows far beyond taste buds. Toasted pumpkin seeds crackle between your teeth, sprinkling quiet over every pulse. Tender spinach leaves, wilted quickly in olive oil, drape the plate in forest green and carry a whisper of woodland calm. Even the creamy heart of an almond shares its quiet strength, offering a hint of sweetness that never shouts. Many friends tell me they once relied on tablets, yet a small bowl of warm oatmeal scattered with crushed walnuts often does more, because food delivers magnesium wrapped in fiber, in natural companions like B vitamins, in stories the body understands. Think of reading a letter in your own language instead of a translation. The meaning feels clearer, the response quicker. Absorption, though, has its own etiquette. Magnesium prefers a steady welcome rather than a grand banquet once a week. A spoonful of nut butter with morning fruit, a handful of steamed edamame in the afternoon, a spoon of sesame paste stirred through soup in the evening. Each small visit keeps the lighthouse bright through all tides. Pair these bites with a sip of water and the mineral glides smoothly, as if riding the crest of a dependable wave. Stress, however, is a thief prowling the dock, eager to steal magnesium reserves the moment worry quickens the heart. When news headlines glare or memories weigh heavy, the body spends magnesium like coins flung to restless pigeons. Here rituals help: a slow stroll among trees, a cup of chamomile, the quiet joy of kneading bread dough, toes curling in warm sand. Each ritual locks the gate against the thief, letting more of the mineral stay home where it belongs. With magnesium's lantern restored, night flows like that gentle tide. Muscles release their secret fists, nerves converse in soft tones, and you drift toward dawn unaware that a storm ever threatened the shore. Imagine a grand stone bridge arching over a gentle river, each block set so precisely that it carries horse carts, laughter, and time itself without a tremor. Calcium is the mason who shaped those stones inside your body, stacking them into spine and hips, ribs and the tiny gears of the inner ear. Yet even the finest masonry weathers, and without a bright overseer the mortar cracks. That overseer is the vitamin woven from sunlight, the silent architect who tells calcium where to settle, how to stay, when to lend a hand to beating heart or flexing calf. Think back to afternoons when you leaned against a sun-warmed wall, eyes closed, skin sipping light the way soil drinks rain. In that warmth the body brews its own reserve of the guiding vitamin, then sends the message: open the gates, let calcium march to the bones. When clouded winters linger or curtains stay drawn, the gates creak shut, and calcium wanders uncertain. Muscles feel that confusion first. A calf that cannot decide whether to contract or release chooses both, and the sharp knot returns. Food can play both mason and overseer. A spoon of creamy yogurt at breakfast brings gentle calcium paired with friendly bacteria that help ferry it through the gut. A tender fillet of salmon at lunch offers not only the minerals escort but the very sunlight it needs, stored from the bright sea. In the evening, leafy greens wilted in a cast iron pan add a final sweep of earthy strength. Even small sesame seeds, crushed into a paste and drizzled over warm vegetables, scatter sparks of bone security with every bite. Some companions make the work smoother still. A squeeze of fresh lemon on steamed broccoli nudges absorption by lowering the gate one more notch. A slow stroll in late afternoon gathers the last golden threads of daylight. A deep breath unclenches the chest so blood can carry supplies to distant toes. None of these acts demand strain or rigid schedules. They are as gentle as turning a key and letting a door swing wide. When calcium sits firmly in its rightful halls and the guiding vitamin keeps watch from every window, bones feel lighter, the heart beats with quiet confidence, and the muscles of the lower leg rest like cats stretched in a sunny patch. Night approaches, yet no cramp prowls the corridor, for the bridge stands sound and the overseer's lamp burns bright. Picture dawn breaking over a field after soft rain. Mist lifts, sunlight catches drops on deep emerald leaves, and somewhere nearby a cluster of berries gleams like tiny lanterns. That quiet scene is more than a postcard, it is the front line where nature arms your body against the slow ember of inflammation. When joints ache and muscles feel tender, small sparks of swelling flicker beneath the skin. Left unchecked, those sparks can stiffen ankles, tighten calves, and set the stage for the night's sharp twist. Yet the same field that feeds the eye can douse those embers before they flare. Beneath the deep hues of blueberries and blackberries lie pigments that work like vigilant rainclouds, patrolling the bloodstream and cooling hot spots wherever they appear. Bite into their sweet tang and you release gentle firefighters who roam every corridor, sweeping soot from vessel walls, clearing passageways for minerals to glide. Their work is silent, patient, and remarkably swift, so that by the time you finish the bowl your calves are already whispering, "Thanks." Dark spinach, kale, and chard offer a different shield. Their chlorophyll, drawn from days of steady sunlight, acts like a calming balm on restless tissue. Fold a handful of these leaves into a pan with a sliver of olive oil and a flicker of garlic, watch them wilt and darken, and you create a potion that quiets swelling the way a lullaby soothes a fretful child. Even their texture tells a story, firm ribs softening under gentle heat, much like stiff joints yielding to care. Pair berries and greens over the course of a single day and you set up twin guardians. One patrols the rivers of blood, the other stands posted at the gates of every muscle cell. Add the richness of extra virgin olive oil, and those guardians receive polished armor that helps them deflect stray sparks of irritation. Sneak in a dash of turmeric or ginger, and the air fills with the scent of distant markets where spices have calmed weary limbs for generations. These foods ask for no grand ceremony. Scatter berries over morning porridge, tuck greens between slices of afternoon toast, swirl both into a creamy smoothie as twilight settles. Each small act is a brushstroke painting protection along tendons and ligaments. When darkness falls, the inner field remains cool, no ember left alive to summon a cramp. Muscles rest in gentle twilight, free to dream of dawn's first glimmer without dread. Imagine the hour when lamps dim and conversation drifts into yawns. The day's bustle settles, yet a gentle murmur rises from the stomach, a quiet reminder that muscles have worked since sunrise and would welcome a last, kind gesture. This is the perfect moment for a tender evening snack, light enough to let sleep unfold, yet rich enough to keep calves cradled in comfort through the deepest dream. Begin by picturing a small bowl of creamy yogurt swirling with honey the color of late sunset. Each silky spoonful delivers protein that repairs microscopic frays left by walking and climbing, while natural sugars slide slowly into the blood, offering nerves a steady lullaby instead of a jarring drumbeat. Calcium in the yogurt drifts to its night post, whispering calm instructions to fibers that might otherwise leap awake. Beside the bowl, imagine a handful of pistachios, shells cracked open like sleepy eyes. Their gentle crunch releases magnesium and healthy fats wrapped in a flavor that hints of distant orchards. The fats coat the stomach in a thin, comforting layer, slowing digestion just enough so nutrients seep out as softly as rainfall on moss. A calm river of minerals flows onward all night, and muscles drink without effort. For sweetness with purpose, think of half a ripe banana sliced in lazy crescents, the blossom of its scent filling the kitchen. Potassium inside those mellow bites pairs with magnesium from the nuts, creating twin anchors that keep the cellular tide from surging. Add a dusting of cinnamon, and the spice warms the tongue, helping blood vessels open like theater curtains, welcoming minerals to the stage. Liquid comfort matters too. Warm a cup of milk, dairy or plant-based, until wisps of steam curl upward, then drop a chamomile blossom to float like a tiny moon. Sip slowly. The gentle heat relaxes the throat and chest, signaling deeper tissues to soften. Tryptophan and calming phytochemicals mingle, easing the mind toward rest while ensuring absorption of the minerals just enjoyed. Keep portions modest, no more than what fits in two relaxed palms. A heavy meal would summon the digestive orchestra, clattering plates until dawn, but this delicate trio, yogurt, nut, fruit, plays a lullaby. Finish, rinse the spoon, switch off the kitchen light, and feel the inner hush settle. As blankets rise to the chin and breaths lengthen, nutrients continue their unhurried patrol. The calves lie loose, the arch is serene, and the night passes without the jarring sting that once shattered peace. Picture mid-morning sunlight spilling across the living room carpet. A radio hums a familiar tune, and there you are, standing barefoot, feeling the gentle prickle of fabric under your toes. Movement at our age need not resemble stadium drills or blaring treadmills. It can feel like dancing with an old friend, each step a question, each stretch an answer, both of you smiling at the memories stirred. Begin with a slow rise onto the balls of the feet, as if reaching for a jar of honey on the top shelf. Hold the peak for a heartbeat, then melt back onto the heels. This small ascent pumps fresh blood through calf muscles the way a hand pump draws water from a garden well. Repeat until ankles warm, breathing out any stiffness like steam from a kettle. Imagine the muscles sighing in relief, bathed in new minerals delivered by that surge. Next, place one hand on the back of a sturdy chair and swing the free leg forward and back, no higher than a gentle pendulum. The hip loosens, the hamstring lengthens, and each swing sends a ripple of ease through the lower leg. Think of brushing dust from a rug, every arc shakes loose tiny crystals that hide in tissue and spark cramps when night falls. A dozen easy swings clear the rug, leaving fibers light and clean. Step away from the chair and trace slow circles with the ankles, first outward, then in. Picture drawing halos on the air, smooth and unbroken. These circles coax synovial fluid into the joint, that natural oil keeping gears from grinding. While the ankle turns, the mind follows its rhythm, thoughts settling like feathers in still air. Calm nerves mean calm signals, and calm signals mean muscles that do not misfire after dark. Midway through the day, venture outdoors if possible. A gentle walk along a tree-lined path invites the heart to quicken just enough to send oxygen singing through vessels. Each footfall is a stamp that tells the circulatory courier, keep moving, keep delivering. Sunlight brushes the skin, topping up the guiding vitamin that escorts calcium home. Even 5 or 6 unhurried blocks can rewrite the body's nightly script. Close the movement session with a seated forward fold, spine lengthening like a drawn bow, hands sliding toward toes. This stretch is a promise to the calves: tonight I will not abandon you, I have prepared a hammock of softness for your rest. Rise slowly, drink a glass of water, feel the pulse in your soul steady and strong. The day's gentle dance is done, and every muscle hums a quiet lullaby, ready for moonlit ease. Think of the mind as a busy train station after sunset. All day long its platforms rattled with arrivals, departures, announcements echoing beneath the roof. When the last commuter slips through the gate the station should quiet, lights dimming one by one, yet some evenings the loudspeakers refuse to hush. Worry loops the same message over and over, and the body, ever obedient, keeps engines idling. Such noise seeps downward. Blood vessels stay tense, nerves flicker, muscles grip the edges of their seats, and long after the bedroom lamp clicks dark the calves wait for orders they hope will never come. The path to silence begins far from the pillow. Imagine drawing a velvet curtain across the day, not in one sweeping tug but in 3 slow passes. First, late afternoon, when shadows stretch, step outside or open a window. Let cool air tumble across the face, lifting thoughts like leaves into a gentler breeze. Breathe in, count the length of the breath in heartbeats rather than seconds, breathe out a beat longer. This tiny shift asks the heart to slow, tells adrenal messengers the race is run. The second pass happens while preparing supper. Turn off harsh overhead bulbs and choose softer light, perhaps a small lamp on the counter. As vegetables simmer, listen for the quiet hiss, notice the scent rising. Awareness anchors the mind in present sensation, loosening knots tied by future fears. Chew deliberately, feel texture and warmth. Digestion prefers this pace, and when the gut feels hurt it sends calming signals up the longest nerve to the brain, like a lullaby sung from belly to head. The final pass arrives an hour before bed. Lay a folded blanket on the floor, sit, and let the spine lean against the wall. Wrap palms around a warm mug of herbal infusion, maybe lavender, maybe lemon balm, and watch the steam coil upward. Imagine each coil lifting a thought into the air, where it fades like breath on cold glass. If a thought insists on staying, picture placing it on a shelf, promising to visit tomorrow. The shelf will hold it, the night need not. In this dim quiet cortisol drifts down, pulse softens, and blood pressure eases its grip on narrow lanes. With traffic light, minerals glide to their checkpoints, nerves pulse in measured beats, and muscles at last exhale. You slip beneath covers, the station lights extinguish, and every platform rests. No late train storms through the calves. Only the distant hum of dreams moves gently across the tracks until dawn. Picture a broad wooden table at sunrise, morning light slipping through curtains and touching every jar, bowl, and basket with gold. Gathered there are your quiet champions, each one shaped by rain, sun, or slow ocean current, ready to carry you through the day and cradle your legs through the night. A single creamy yogurt waits near the center, cool and steady, whispering promises of strength to bones and rhythm to heartbeats. Close by rests a ripe banana, its soft skin freckled like an autumn field, offering gentle waves of potassium that steady every cellular tide. Leafy spinach, still dew-kissed, drapes over a small colander, deep emerald veins pulsing with magnesium drawn from rich soil. Beside it glows a baked sweet potato, flesh the color of harvested pumpkins, storing both fiber and minerals that soothe restless nerves. A slice of salmon, coral pink and faintly briny, carries sunlight captured far below rolling waves, guiding calcium to the spine's hidden arches. Nearby, dark chocolate breaks into rustic squares, the faint aroma hinting at distant equatorial forests and gifting muscles the calm of magnesium wrapped in pleasure. A bowl of blueberries shimmers like midnight sky sprinkled with early stars, their pigments roaming the bloodstream to quiet invisible sparks before they scorch tender tissue. A small mound of pumpkin seeds rattles softly when your palm brushes them, tiny shields forged in green hulls, ready to ease the night's last tension. Smooth avocado, once cradled high on a tree limb, lies open, its pale green heart rich in fats that escort vitamins through winding vessels. Finally, a glass bottle of olive oil stands watch, liquid amber catching the sun, coating every cell it meets with a silken armor against creeping stiffness. As the day unfolds you invite each guardian to play its part. Morning begins with yogurt stirred into oatmeal, banana sliced on top, a drizzle of warm olive oil echoing ancient Mediterranean tables. Midday calls for a salad where spinach tumbles with avocado cubes, pumpkin seeds dancing across like tiny cymbals. The sweet potato joins supper beside salmon brushed with that same golden oil, blueberries closing the meal in a burst of dusky sweetness. Dark chocolate waits on the evening saucer, melting slowly while twilight settles and distant streetlights bloom. Threaded through these meals are sips of cool water, gentle stretches, unhurried breaths, moments of laughter, steps beneath open sky. Together they form a mosaic as vivid as stained glass, each shard locking into place until a pattern emerges. Nights free from sudden lightning in the calves, mornings greeted with an easy smile, and days stitched together by steady, grateful movement.